Hey everyone, this is Chef, and in this video, we're going to cover the installation and usage of the ArcDPS add-on, which gives you detailed, real-time information about you and your squad. This video is broken up into 3 parts, and I encourage you to use the included chapter markers to move to the specific sections that you need. First, I'll show you how to install ArcDPS and do some basic configuration. Then, we'll cover some of the specific windows and information displays that may be relevant to you during World vs. World. Finally, we'll look at how to configure the shape and display of these windows, so they look just how you want them to. To install ArcDPS, we're first going to go to deltaconnected.com/ArcDPS, link in the description below. Scroll to the bottom of the page and find the download link labeled Here. On the following page, download the d3d11.dll file, and if your computer tells you that .dll files are unsafe, click Keep Anyway. Once downloaded, move this file from your Downloads folder to your default Guild Wars 2 installation location. This will usually be Program Files/Guild Wars 2 on your C drive. Paste the file into this directory at the same level as your Guild Wars 2 executable file, and you're done. If you need to uninstall ArcDPS later on, maybe because a patch has broken it, you can just delete this file instead and re-download it when there's a working version. Once in-game, use Alt-Shift-T to show the main ArcDPS window and confirm that you installed it correctly. From here, you can control some general settings, as well as enable and disable individual windows. By default, you'll have a single window for damage, and it's up to you how many of these windows you want to have on your screen at the same time. We'll configure this initial window first, then set up some of those additional displays. ArcDPS uses separate settings depending on what game mode you're currently playing, so before you set up your first window, make sure you're on a World vs. World map. Right-click on your existing ArcDPS window, and under Stats Exclude, make sure that NPCs and gadgets are excluded, both damage from and damage to. This includes things like pets, guards, lords, siege, and other objects which don't involve damage between 2 players. Under Advanced Stats, you'll likely want to have None Default checked as well, which gives you total damage dealt rather than damage per second. After a fight, you can click any player within this window, and you can see their overall damage profile, how much damage they did overall, how hard their spike was, and what abilities contributed to their damage. If you mouse over any of these abilities, you can even see the number of times each skill was cast. You can use this to compare your own skill usage to people in your squad after a fight has ended. For example, how many times berserkers in your squad used their F1 skills relative to you. You can control information from this window that displays on mouse over under the tooltip menu as well. With your damage window configured, let's set up some other windows that might be useful as well. To keep an eye on which players in your squad are removing boons, you can enable a boon strips window. Make a new window from the main ArcDPS panel using Alt-Shift-T and select a new window under the Extra Area Stats section. Right-click on this new window, and under Advanced Stats, select Strips. We can follow the same process for cleanse-focused professions by selecting Cleanses from this menu. These tend to be the most common additional windows that people use, but there are a number of things that you can look at while you play that might also be interesting, such as distance from tag, incoming damage, or player kills. You can enable or disable any of these windows, depending on what information you want to see on the profession you're playing from the main ArcDPS configuration window. While raw damage output is a good marker of overall performance in World vs. World, the main role of damage professions in a squad is to output spike damage and generate downs. It can be easy to pad meters with ArcDPS by using high target cap skills on larger groups, but not actually generating downs or syncing your damage with the rest of your squad. You can use the down contribution stat within ArcDPS to generate a window that shows how much each player in the squad contributed to generating downs. This stat view is a little complex, so let's break it down. Down contribution only counts damage that's done to a target that's below 90%. Anytime that target goes above 90%, the damage is reset to 0. Then, this damage is only added to the meter when the target actually goes down and enters downstate. Players who are padding meters, but not coordinating their spike with the squad, will be high on the overall damage window, but low on this down contribution window. Finally, let's talk about how you can configure the display windows themselves in order to get your ArcDPS interface to look just the way you want it. Display lets you control multiple different parameters of your windows, and these are largely up to you to decide what you like the best. You can also control the maximum number of rows that each window can display to control how big these windows get vertically. Style lets you control the window displays themselves, including the overall width of the windows. And Position lets you set specific locations for these windows to live on your screen. Or you can use the manual setting to drag the windows to where you want them. That about does it for basic ArcDPS settings. There's a number of extensions to ArcDPS as well that can show you things like healing, boon up time, and enemy squad numbers and professions, and we'll cover all of that in a future video, mostly because there's some issues with Know Thy Enemy right now, and I'd like to wait for those to be resolved before I make a video about this extension. As always, if I missed your favorite ArcDPS setting, leave a comment and let me know. And if you found this guide helpful, you can let me know about that by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. There's also links to my Twitch stream and my Discord in the description if you'd like to stay involved in the discussions that we have on the channel. But until then, I've been Chef, and enjoy the rest of your day.